Hello and welcome to today's episode, The Illusion of Fear. I came across some research that stated that fear is an illusion. Now, when I say research, I say it lightly. It's an opinions, it's some statements that came across, and it made me ponder on whether or not I agreed with it. And my decision is no. Fear is real. It is an emotion that greatly drives the way you behave or the decisions you make. But as I considered it a little bit more deeply and opened up my mind to a different way of looking at it, I realized there is an element of illusion at play in how fear can impact our future events. I invite you to open up your mind in this episode to consider this different perspective. A lot of fear is created from the unknown. Take an idea of you wanting to start a new business or you want to start a brand new side hustle. You are maybe stepping into a brand new role or project in the work front. It could also be in a personal setting. You might be getting married for the first time and about to say your wedding speech, and you've not done that before. Or maybe you are about to turn up and speak in a brand new association or gardening club that you like to be part of, whatever it may be. But that newness brings about a range of uncertainty, and that uncertainty can bring some of its fear. Now, fear can also be brought up from past experiences that you have either personally lived through and personally experienced, or you have vividly experienced through the storytelling of somebody else's experience. And with those experiences of the past, they create some fear that will be like a warning sign for you to not venture towards that course of action or that environment or in that situation. Now, this is where I can consider a different perspective of the illusion of fear. When we are looking at that big goal or that new venture and where we are today versus where we want to get to, there is this big gap of uncertainty. And in that uncertainty, because we do not have a lot of experience in that unknown, in that uncertainty, we don't know how to feel it. For us to feel comfortable, we need to fill it with knowledge and understanding. And so then what we may tend to do to fill the gap of uncertainty is reach into past experiences that either you have personally had or have lived through or listened to or observed somebody else go through. And those experiences, we then may layer onto the uncertainty of what we don't know in that little gap between where we are now and where we want to go in the future. And we will use those past experiences that gave us fear or the warnings of fear to fill in the gaps that we don't know. Now, it could be, I'm afraid to start up that business because I came across a lot of stats that in the first 1 year, a lot of businesses fail. And so I do not want to start my own business. Or it might be that I knew 3 people who failed in their businesses when they tried it for themselves. They became bankrupt. They had to work 2 jobs to recoup the funds that they lost. And so that experience creates a fear of you wanting to start your own business. It might be you not wanting to take on a promotion into another role or a senior role because the experiences that you had either in another organization or what you witnessed other people go through that you deemed as a fearful experience that you do not want to navigate as part of your own experience. So it becomes something that you fear, that you want to avoid. Then you create that as a filler of the uncertainty that you don't know of stepping into that role. The illusion of fear is where we use our experiences, especially those ones that we define as fearful, things that we want to avoid, that we're a little bit nervous or anxious about, any of those things, we then can easily use that to feel the uncertainty of what we don't know in how we navigate from where we are today to where we want to get to in that big vision that you might have, that new job, that new business, that new hobby that you want to try out, whatever it is. And instead of us using that fear to then help us navigate and get through to that goal that you have, it becomes a blocker and it greatly delays you, or it prevents you from moving forward to what you really want to achieve deep down inside. So you don't put your hand up for that promotion or that role that you want to get, or you self-sabotage yourself during the interview process, or you don't start a business, or you set it up so you fail, or you play it small. It could turn out into any different way where it would self-sabotage or justify you not succeeding or you not fast-tracking your journey towards your goal. Now, that is the illusion. Why? Because what happened in the past gives you some experience on what to do if that situation ever occurs in the future, but it doesn't mean it will repeat itself. Now, I'm going to say it again. That experience or that circumstance that you had in the past that you are fearful of may not happen again in the future. And that is where the illusion is, because you may tend to believe that it will happen again, or it will happen in the future. And none of us know with certainty that that will happen. With that probability or lack of certainty of whether or not that circumstance will happen, I invite you to flip the switch. Ask yourself, when that happened to me, what did I learn from that experience? The second question is, how can I apply that learning if by chance it will happen on my way to my goal? It's the same if it's a fear or an experience that you witnessed or heard somebody else go through. And it's, again, what can you learn from that experience? And how can you apply that learning if by chance it may happen on your way to your goal? These experiences that created some fear, nerves, anxiety, self-doubt within you, it may occur or it may not. The probability of it occurring again is just as uncertain as you not knowing what you don't know on your way to your goal. Now, this perspective shift in today's episode can be a bit heavy, and feel free to listen to it over again. But my main call to action for you is your past experiences, or the experiences that you witness other people go through that have created some fear, nerves, or anxiety for you to speak into or speak towards any of your big goals. Don't let that become a barrier to you. And I understand that you may want to use that to fill the gap of the unknown, the uncertainty of not knowing how you're going to get from here to your big goal or your big dream. I do that myself. But I then challenge it so it doesn't become a block or a barrier in my progress or journey towards my vision, towards my goal, by saying, what did I learn from that experience? And how can I apply that learning if by chance it may happen again? Fear is not an illusion. It is an emotion that drives the behaviors and decisions you make. But there is an illusion at play in how we use our fear in filling that uncertainty gap that we don't know how to get to our big vision, our big goal. It's like we're scenario planning this, and that's the illusion. It might not happen. And we are greatly tempted to fill that uncertainty with knowledge of past events, past experiences, past knowledge that we've gained. And in that, that's where we can bring the illusion of those things possibly happening on our way to get to our future goals. But they may never eventuate. And that's the illusion of it, because we are creating a scenario. So flip it around. Ask yourself, when that happened to me, what did I learn from that experience? How can I apply that learning if by chance it will happen on my way to my goal?